So what up 2K fans, it's your boy Shake, and it's time for some more NBA 2K20 news. Quite a few things took place since my last news video, so now I feel like it's time to get you guys up to date. So let's kick this off with some minor news first. Tomorrow we're gonna have another new neighborhood event called Formula 2K, where your MyPoints earned during each game played will convert to distance around a track. The prizes are 50,000 VC, a Formula 2K icon, unlimited boosts, a helmet, and a checkered shirt. This is going to be Sunday, October 13th, and it's 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. depending on your region. So it won't be like in 2K19 where if you're on the East Coast you can play your event and then jump on the West Coast servers and get a couple more hours in. At least that's how it's been for the previous events. We also have some Halloween drip dropping October 16th. So you definitely want to check out swags if you're into that sort of thing. Beware of the demigod glitch. Shout out to 2K20 Intel and all the other 2K20 news sources that are on social media. I've seen this banned message circulating throughout the community. It says here that this user account has been banned due to a violation of our terms and services. And this might have been due to an attempt at doing the demigod glitch. I would strongly recommend you guys refrain from doing glitches. 2K's been banning people for weeks and sometimes indefinitely. Yesterday we finally got our hands on patch 6, and this was a godsend because it was very hard for me to link up with my friends in the neighborhood. It was very frustrating, and I felt like I needed a break from playing the game, especially after losing my 98 overall after getting kicked out of the 2v2 rush event. Patch 6 has a lot of promises. It's supposed to fix the incorrect MyPlayer's loading when joining friends in the neighborhood. Fixes users getting disconnected during timeouts in some online game modes. Fixes hanging when dismissing the phone in the neighborhood, which means lagging out to the title screen after checking your cell phone too many times in the neighborhood when you're trying to link up with your friends. It says it specifically fixes users getting disconnected from games during timeouts in My Team Unlimited, Play Now Online, and Play with Friends. Now I did get a chance to play last night, the day of the patch, and of course I played today during the Ruffles event. And even though the patch fixed the issue where if you joined off a friend's invite, you would spawn in with the wrong build, I'm still having some issues joining friends that are on my friends list. Like they might be on my friends list, but they're not on my 2K friends list. And if they're on my 2K friends list, some friends have the option for me to join them and some friends don't. I will say so far since the patch we're able to link up as a group much faster than last week, and there's not as many headaches and frustrating moments, but I'm still having a little bit of issues here and there. Let me know in the comment section if that area has been fixed for you as well. Now for the main event, all about hot zones. My man Zach Timmerman, one of the 2K devs, he tweeted out yesterday, my career hot zones are earned separately in each game mode. They require a certain amount of shots in each zone and a certain shot percentage before they turn on. They only look at your last 25 games. Shots before that don't count. You can find your hot zones in your player card. And he also provided a breakdown of the different modes, different zones you shoot in, the minimal attempts it takes before your hot shot percentage and your cold shot percentage to actually activate. A good example would be if you're at the park and you're scoring under the basket, it needs 30 field goal attempts, 75% or higher, and that area will become hot. 60% or lower and that area becomes cold, and that's understandable because you're right under the basket. If you're shooting from 3-point range, notice how it drops down to 10 field goal attempts. You only need to shoot 55% or higher for that area to be hot, or 35% or lower for that area to be cold. Even though Zach says that they only look at your last 25 games, a lot of people thought that that meant that after 25 games, your hot zones actually reset. So Zach decided to provide some clarity. He says, seems there is some confusion about the 25 game window. Zones don't reset every 25 games. It's a moving window where only your last 25 games count for hot zones. It is a how you are shooting lately feature. So if you're in your 26th or your 27th game, game number 1 and game number 2, those shots no longer count anymore. They're like evaporated from history. And this kind of makes sense because it's literally called hot zones, which means where you're actually shooting now and where you're hot from today. But this still caused a lot of backlash within the community. I Am Davis reached out saying this is inconsistency. Now every game, even in blowouts, I have to be careful with shots if I want to avoid cold spots. Also, resetting every 25 games will never allow me to get my hot spots all together. And Zach says they don't reset every 25 games. They only care about your last 25 games. If you've played 26 games, they don't care about your first game. If you've played 27, they don't care about your first 2. Copy and paste tweet. So try to imagine it like words under a magnifying glass. Anything outside that magnifying glass you've already read, it doesn't count anymore. So once again, after 25 games, your hot zones and your cold spots don't reset. It's not like after 25 games you have to start all over. It's continuous. In every single game mode, NBA Park, Pro-Am, and the Rec. Mario HT says, I don't think hot zones should be earned separately in each game mode. Just makes the game more tough to grind. And from my understanding with this system, it'll just make Hot Zone Hunter less effective. And Zach responds, I don't know that I'll ever agree that someone shooting threes in pro difficulty NBA games versus the AI should have a bigger advantage in comp games versus a comp player who only plays comp games. And I see what he's saying there, because in previous 2Ks, I've actually proven that, you get your hot zones only in my career mode. That was sort of my strategy every year. Go to my career, get all my hot zones, then go to the park and be hot from everywhere. Apparently in 2K20, that doesn't work anymore. According to Zach, if you're playing on low difficulty against the AI in my career mode, that's not going to give you an advantage playing against a real life player at the park who's only been playing against other comp players at the park. Shout out to G Sice. He says, I had a cold spot on the right wing when I don't be missing at all. So that means I probably took 3 shots and missed 2 of them from that spot. Zach says, nah, you need to take more than 3 shots in a zone for it to turn hot or cold. See the chart. So it's possible he was shooting 35% or less from that right wing, which gave him a cold spot. Then again, it's 2K, which means we all reserve the right to have doubt. Shout out to poor boy Sin. He jumps in referencing the 25 games and how it may reset. He says, yes, they do. Sorry to say. Every 25 games, they may not reset back to neutrals, but they change to what you did the previous 25 games, and majority of players don't like it. It promotes perfect play. If you don't shoot in spots between those 25 games, I won't receive the next 25. And Zach responds, Sin, it's not 25 game chunks where a new chunk of games start when the first 25 are done. Every new game starts a new set of 25. So if you are on game 30, the first 5 don't count. When you play game 31, the first 6 don't count. Each new game removes the first game in your set of 25. So basically, as long as you're still playing and consistently shooting from those areas, those zones, you're gonna maintain those hot spots, and the areas you don't shoot from consistently will either remain neutral or cold. I couldn't help but to put this comment in here from Too Easy Gaming. Y'all bugging. It's been like this, plus it's called hotspots, or a spot you frequently shoot from. If you're not shooting as frequent in that spot, it should go back to neutral, and you earn it back by shooting from there frequently again. And this also creates a skill gap between guys that are not really playing, the novice players that don't really shoot that much, and it also puts you at a disadvantage if you think you're just gonna rep up in my career mode and then try to take your player online against people at the park or in the Pro-Am or in the rec center. All of a sudden you find out you don't have those same hot spots and you don't get that little bit of extra boost from that zone when you're shooting. You really have to rely on the release of your shot. Now keep in mind guys, 2K is really helping shooters this year. You've got badges that boost your jump shot, hot zones that boost your jump shot. You can take off the shot meter and that will boost your jump shot. You can run with a teammate who has floor general and dimer and get a +8 to all your attributes when you receive a pass from him. So that boosts your jump shot. It's all gonna come down to timing and the connection to the server, because lag trumps everything. Mike Wang wanted to give some more information about patch 6 as it pertains to dribbling. He says, dear dribblers, couple small notes from patch 6. A few standing step backs were swapped out because chanting out of them was flipped. There's a new standing spin retreat move. Hold left stick away after starting a spin. And steals shouldn't lock you in anymore. Enjoy. I remember Mike Wang mentioning that you could actually get away with dribbling with just the left stick this year. And I thought that was a very difficult statement to agree with. People reaching and all the different animations that come from using the right stick. And one last thing, those of us who had logos, YouTubers and streamers, We now have a new logo. It's a 2K logo. Not sure exactly if 2K lost the right to use the YouTube or the Twitch logo, but this is what it looks like, and I've heard that it doesn't really distinguish the difference between the different types of influencers out there, those of us that are streamers, those of us that are YouTubers. Not sure if I like this move, but I guess I can look past it. I mean, I was somehow able to look past the change from the Foot Locker to the 2K shoe store. So that's it for this week's news episode. Let me know in the comment section if this video helped. You got some information that made some sense to you. Make sure you smack that like button to show your support, subscribe, turn on notifications for more, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. This week we're highlighting buzzer beaters and game-winning shots, and none of these are in any particular order, so if you would be so kind to vote so we can narrow it down for the top plays of the month.